been to a networking event or meeting and someone has pitch slap you? Do you ever feel drained because you're an introvert and when you go networking, it just drains your energy? And do you ever crave more meaningful conversations free of all the pitch slapping? If this is you, you are here for a treat. You're at the right episode here today on Networking Know How. I'm Laura Morlando, the Stress Commando, and I am the founder and CEO of Down and Dirty Networking. We are a 100% relational online networking community. And every Wednesday afternoon, I go live sometime between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I can't use my words. We're going on a little bit late. We've had so many conversations today, which is what leads us into our topic. And so our goal here for every networking know-how is to give you an insight into why we are founded on relational networking and how this can be the game changer to increase your vibrational energy and meaningfulness. And so today we're talking about one of our core values here, which is talk less, question more. One of the things that I find when you are at traditional networking, and I'm guilty of this, I made the same mistake. So if you ran into me, I apologize in advance that I was that person. I would get nervous. I would get awkward. I would try to have everything memorized that I was supposed to tell you in that 30-second commercial. And maybe I would pitch, and I wouldn't stop talking. And that's definitely something that's an issue when I get going. I have the gift of gab and it gets going. But when I get nervous, then it really gets going. But what I find is that there are several people that will struggle with just talking too much. They don't pause. And so if you're one of those people that gets nervous and you're like me and you just talk too much, here is the wonderful, wonderful thing to put in your head. Talk less, question more. If you have that internal voice that is telling you, oh my gosh, I'm talking too much, I'm doing it again, pause. What's a question I can ask? What's a question I can ask? And you just ask a question and allow the other person an opportunity to talk about. So what I have found is talk less, question more is incredibly effective at increasing meaningfulness, but as an introvert, it decreases the energy spent. So you don't feel drained approaching networking doing this. But let's expand a little bit what I mean by networking, specifically relational networking as it relates to down and dirty networking, because you might not fully understand. Because normally, normal networking, when you're doing the networking events, you're maybe in, you're schmoozing, you're doing the mix and mingle type of thing. There's generally some light conversation, but ultimately it's all about transactional networking. It's about, hey, I'm looking for a job. Hey, I'm looking for new clients or sales, or hey, I would like at my, maybe I'm schmoozing with the higher ups or leadership because I want to be assigned to that project or department. There's typically a want that is for you. And in general, sometimes it becomes a one-way conversation. In relational networking, there's no pitch slapping, and especially in down and dirty networking, we do not allow that. No 30-second commercial or elevator pitch, none of that. What it's about is having a meaningful conversation to learn from and about someone to build a lasting and authentic relationship. And the only way that that can happen, or the easiest way it can happen, is asking questions. Talk less, question more. Now, if you've been watching, and I see some people watching live, if you've been watching our lives, one of my favorite questions to ask, instead of how are you, is what's the best thing that's happened to you recently? I owe this question to a really good speaker, Amanda Gore. That's where I learned this years ago. And this has been my go-to question when I am at an event, or I'm feeling a little awkward, or I need to lean into something and trip the awkward cycle and get into meaningfulness right away to where I can reduce my energy spend as an introvert. It's talk less, question more. And I find that when I ask this question, what's the best thing that's happened to you recently, lately, since I last saw you, it really opens it up. And then you become a super sleuth and ask follow-up questions. But the power of question more relates beyond what you would think for traditional networking. What I have been doing all day, and why I wanted to step outside, is I've been on calls all day long. So I've been having conversations all day long because, in addition to being the CEO here at Down and Dirty Networking, I am also a marketing consultant. So today was a lot of marketing consulting conversations. And one of the things that I find really helpful is to check in, ask questions, and make sure that I'm delivering and answering the thing that they need, that they want, not what I interpret. So I don't interpret what people are telling me they need or want. I always say, what do you mean by that? I ask follow-up questions. I find this to be really helpful even when you're dealing with team members or coworkers. It's, hey, Laura, whatever the situation may be, ask them to interpret, what would that look like for you? Hey, I want you to create a great social media post. Great. What would great look like for you? Oh, you need a script. What would that look like for you? Hey, you're looking like you need a foundation and a strategy, which is actually something I do. You would say, hey, what does that look like to you? I can interpret what that means in a work setting, but it may not mean the same thing that you need. And it reminds me back when I was a corporate professional, always making sure to ask the question when I was given a task to determine that I really understood. That way I could deliver. In my case, I like to over deliver. I could over deliver what they were expecting and usually wow them. And so that's another one of our core values here at Down and Dirty Networking is wow by giving freely. And so by asking more questions, it puts you in a position of success, puts you in a position to do better. And so right now I'm working with someone that is going to be helping me out, and I want to position them to grow. I want to develop people. I don't want to manage tasks. And so they told me what they could do for me, which is great. But I asked questions. What do you want to learn? What will light you up? I'm going to put them in a position where they feel that their vibrational energy is going through the roof, that they're learning and doing the thing that they want. I want them to be lit up. I want them to be so excited that they are doing this thing. But the only way I can know is what's the thing they want to do? What's the thing that lights them up? And so asking those questions can be helpful. And what kind of led me to this is I've seen this, over and over. Make sure I wasn't standing on an ant pile. I've seen this over and over where better questions get better results. The same thing is true if you're talking to AI. Better input gets better output. So the better your question, the more you clarify, the better your input. So when I'm doing my AI trainings with everybody, just what's the question you need to really ask? And so earlier today, somebody was asking for help. They were about ready to be interviewed, them and their child, and they were asking for guidance on what they could provide. And it was great. It was a mother-son. They're being interviewed for the book that he wrote, which is a really incredible book. And one of the tips that I gave is I've interviewed children, and one of the things I would ask before we did the interview is, what's a topic that lights you up that your kid just loves to talk about? Because if they're a little bit nervous, this is always a great question to start with. So I get the energy really, really high. And now I can ask them more of the questions about what I'm there to interview them. It builds that trust. It builds rapport because they realize that I do genuinely care. I want to know what lights you up. And so this question that's great for kids is actually great for everybody, whether it be coworkers, and it falls right in line to what we're talking about today and why I wanted to come and just share quickly with you why talk less, question more goes beyond, hey, I need a client. Hey, I need a raise. Hey, I want to be put on that job. Ask open-ended questions. Ask for assistance. Ask for interpretation of what somebody needs. Ask for clarification. Or when in a pinch, ditch the high-level questions and say, hey, what's the best thing that's happened to you? If you're at an event, I've got another client that's at an event right now, always ask, hey, what are you hoping to get out of this event? What's the one thing you need to learn today? Or who's the one person you need to meet here at this conference? What's your number one goal today? What I find is most people at events haven't even set a goal, and they're like, hey, what a great question. And now it opens it up for more conversation. It makes it easier because now I can treat you like an instant best friend, which is what we do here in Down and Dirty Networking. You've heard me talk about the instant best friend approach. And when you do that, it removes the awkwardness, it reduces energy spend, and you get right into meaningfulness. So think about how you can open up with questions. Have a couple of go-to questions. Feel free to use what's the best thing that's happened to you. Or if you would love some conversation starters, if you'd love an assist, go ahead and drop the word assist. Drop the word assist, and I'll send you our conversation starter of the month so that you will have a whole month to leverage it and be able to utilize this tip. And then that way you don't even have to think about it. You just have one, you got it, you're ready to go, moving on. In a pinch, my favorite one, what's the best thing that's happened to you recently? So if you want more of those so that you can have more meaningful conversations, no matter the situation, whether you're at a conference, you're talking to a client, a coworker, a new employee, or maybe you're at a networking event, then this is for you. Drop the word assist, and I'll make sure that you get the conversation started of the month so that you have access to that. So thank you for those watching live. I see you watching live. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're watching on replay, thank you so much for being here on replay. And let me know in the comments if this is resonating with you. What's a question you would like me to answer? Because I think that would be really helpful too. And you never know if there's a question that you would like for me to answer. You never know. It might actually make it a topic here on Down and Dirty Networking's Networking Know-How. And make sure if this has been helpful that you, whatever platform you're watching on, make sure to like and follow, especially find the Down and Dirty Networking LinkedIn and Facebook page. We put various articles and tips, and you will always see the lives there. Or you can go to the YouTube page for Down and Dirty Networking. So just look for Down and Dirty Networking on YouTube, and you will see the curated playlist that we already have uploaded for a variety of topics, whether you're an introvert, a student, how you can adopt this relational networking mindset and leverage the talk less, question more core value that we have here at Down and Dirty Networking in everything that you do. So that your conversations throughout your life, not just professionally, but in your day, are more meaningful. When it's more meaningful, you have an increase in your vibrational energy. When you have an increase in your vibrational energy, you have more clarity, and it's kind of like building that Teflon of armor for the stressful things that happen as life gets lifey. So I hope this was helpful. If so, make sure to like and follow Down and Dirty Networking on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And stay tuned every Wednesday afternoon. I go live sometime between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Unless I'm in deep conversations like I was today, so I might go a little bit later. But mark it down every Wednesday afternoon for Networking Know-How. But until next week, happy networking. Bye for now.